What's cooking, everybody? Dave Altizer here with PHOTOKINA, and we are at the Panasonic booth here to look at the new S1 and S1R cameras. If you're not aware, Panasonic has released two full-frame mirrorless cameras. Both of them have full-frame sensors with a L-mount lens mount that's designed specifically by Leica, previously used on the Leica SL camera, but now on this new Panasonic camera. Panasonic will be making a whole slew of lenses coming in 2020. There will be up to 7 lenses, but for now there's only 3 with Panasonic. You can use the Leica L lenses, and Sigma has announced that they will be doing a whole bunch of lenses from their lens lineup as well. Both cameras shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. The S1R is going to be a high megapixel camera, and the S1 is more of a all-around camera. We don't have a ton of information yet, but we did set up an interview with Dan from Panasonic to get a little bit more information and to get some hands-on with this camera, so let's go now. Today we're here with Dan, the Panasonic rep from the US of A, even though we're here in Germany. So thank you, Dan, for talking to us about the new S1R and the S1 camera. Here it is, the S1.
Here it is, yes. Very exciting. It's Panasonic Lumix's entree into basically a full-frame camera.
Yes, I'm so excited. There's so many people that have been waiting for Panasonic to release the information on this camera. Here is a prototype. This is not a final version, but this is essentially what the body is going to look like. We have here the 24-105 lens. Let's first talk about that. Is that an f4 aperture? I'm just kind of assuming, or do you happen to know?
I don't believe we're actually stating that right now. There's a really limited information on a lot of the functionality.
Okay, well, I would just kind of assume that it will be like a standard, maybe if it's 2.8, that'd be great. Looks like an f4 lens to me. We've got IS on the lens, but we also have IBIS on the sensor, is what they're saying, right?
So what we call dual OIS, exactly, yeah.
Gotcha, because somebody else owns the trademark on that, I guess?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, so we have stabilization on sensor, which is great, a full frame sensor, and what do we have here? We have a card slot on the side, and there is not one, but 2 cards in the card slot. So what are the cards that we have here?
So we have regular SD and then QXD.
Beautiful, and the QXD, I would assume, is for just the high burst rate that this camera might have, maybe high 4K, maybe 10-bit. Do you happen to know any of those specs by chance?
We don't have specifications that we're announcing on that yet. We do have the shutter of 4K 60p is what we're talking about now.
Okay, great. That is a first, actually. There's nothing really doing 4K at 60 frames with a full frame sensor, so that's new news for us. On the side here, I'm seeing we have a full-size HDMI, which is a welcome addition. That's one of my favorite things about the Panasonic GH5 system. So hopefully that'll be a 10-bit signal out. We could record a 10-bit 4K 60, hopefully. I would assume that it will, because the GH5 does it. You know, that's what I would think. You're not going to confirm or deny.
It's better if I don't know.
But we have a USB-C port on there as well. Again, hopefully that will charge the camera. We don't know. We have a headphone jack and a mic input, I assume, there as well. Do you happen to know if this will have the interface on the shoe to allow you to put the XLR on there?
We haven't stated that either yet, no.
So we're using the Leica L mount standard, but Panasonic is taking on these new lenses here. We're going to have 3 lenses on launch, a 24-105, the 70-200, and the 50-1.4, I believe. It's got some good chunk to it. I mean, it feels like a solid camera. That's one of my favorite things about this. Everything's laid out nicely. We've got white balance ISO, exposure comp here, focus on the back. It just feels great. I'm hoping this EVF is going to be amazing. I'm sure it will be. The G9's EVF is fabulous. One kind of downside is we don't have a flip out selfie screen. Maybe that's because Canon has the patent on it. I don't know. I'm just speculating. The screen does articulate for people who are shooting like this, you know,
correct, yeah.
Portrait mode.
We believe that'll work sufficiently well enough for video shooters as well.
Looks like the same battery.
No, actually larger battery.
Larger battery, okay, so you can confirm that, great.
Yep.
I don't know can I take this off?
You can.
There you go, there's the sensor with the IBIS, or with optical stabilization, as you call it. You guys are going to be excited to use this whenever it comes out.
Early 2019.
Cool.
We're not really saying much more than that right now.
So basically NAB, we'll see it, hopefully.
If you say so.
We just talked about the S1. That's real exciting. We don't have a ton of information about it, but you were just talking about this new lens here. This is
It's a new 10-25 f1.7 It's a lens that's designed not for the S series, but actually for the G series cameras.
This lens for me is really going to be amazing. It kind of replaces using a Sigma 18-35 with a speed booster now, and you actually get autofocus, so that would be great. I think that's what this is really serving, is people who need that. Cool, thanks a lot, Dan. I really appreciate it. See you next time.